Hi Wildcats! This is a video demonstration of the project that we're going to be working on in class next week. What we're going to be making is a plate, and I'm going to show you step by step what we're going to be doing. As you can see in the video, we start with a block of clay, and I'm taking a clay wire cutter to cut it into 2-pound sections, which usually I cut in half and students get a 1-pound section for whatever project we're working on. But when I cut the clay for your class, it'll be cut into squares, as you can see here. So you're going to be throwing the clay a little bit to stretch it and to make it more pliable. And as it becomes more pliable, we will be able to roll it. Now, our rollers are not quite big enough, and so we're going to have to be a little careful as we roll, because sometimes the roller will not be held up by the slats. We have to be careful not to smash the clay. As you can see up in the corner, I've cut off the corners of the clay to make the piece more round and to narrow it enough that the roller still rolls on the slats. And when we have it, the thickness of the wood, and it's even, then we use our state-of-the-art clay cutter, the little paper clip, and we cut out the first circle, okay? So when I say first circle, that means that when we cut out the plate, it is still a little bit too thick, okay? The wood pieces that we use to make the clay thickness even are a little too thick for a plate. We could make a plate out of it, but it wouldn't be quite the graceful looking plate. It would be very thick and bulky and heavy. And so we throw it once or twice, actually 3 times it looked like, and we roll it just to smooth out the surface, okay? We've thrown it and stretched it. It went into an oval shape, and then I turned it and threw it in the other direction, and it kind of rounded back out again. So now we're rolling it to straighten it and to thin down the edges, and we're going to cut out the plate a second time. After we cut it out the second time, that's the piece that we will use to form the plate. See, it's nice and thin and ready to use. Okay, so as you know, when we do pottery, much of what we do in pottery, our time is spent softening and smoothing the edges, okay? Whether we're making a village front or Christmas ornaments or necklace charms or a chalkboard or a whiteboard or whatever the project may be, we have a lot of cleaning of the edges and surfaces to do. We have to make sure they're smooth and soft so that they don't fire and form a rough edge that could actually scratch or cut your finger. Okay, so in this video I spent about 30 seconds smoothing the edges. In class it'll be more like 5 or 10 minutes smoothing the edges and softening the edges, making sure everything's good. Then we place it evenly over the paper plate, the same one we've been using. It's a Chinette paper plate that does not have the shiny surface on it, so the clay doesn't stick to it. The clay plate that you make will pop right out of the form. So we use it as a form and form the clay into the plate. And now we're using what I call the Martha Stewart method, where the pie crust method, where if you've ever watched Martha Stewart's show, she shows you how to use 2 fingers to hold down one piece of the clay and use the other finger in the middle to pull it up. And that way you have an even wave around the perimeter of the plate.